Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here.
Today we're making wire toggle clasps with little roses. We're using 20 gauge artistic wire, flat pliers, round pliers, looping pliers, and our flush cutters. We're going to use about 12 to 15 inches of the 20 gauge wire, bend it at a right angle, and then form a loop. We can just use the end of a marker. You can make these any size that you want, and we're going to wind it twice and then just wind the end of the wire around. And then we're going to take that wire and wrap it through the loop a couple of times, and this will help to keep the loops together. Give it a good little tug so it's nice and solid, and you could pinch it in with the flat pliers. Now we're going to bend it at an angle and get our looping pliers to form a loop. Hold that loop with the flat pliers and wind the wire around a couple of times, and then take the end and wind it through the loop on the other side. So we're going to bring it through a couple of times, wiggling the wire to tighten it up, and that will be the starting point of the toggle. And then pinch those wires in so they're nice and secure. So once we have these wires, we're going to form our rows. So you take one wire and wind it around a bit, and then get the other wire and follow the first wire but go underneath. This is the trick to making the roses. You wind it around, but as you go, you take the other wire and then wind it underneath the first wire. Just rotate it a bit and then get the net wire and bring it around. So we're kind of jumping behind the wires. So bring it around. And then once you're happy with the size, we're just going to have to finish off those ends. So just keep winding it till it's the size that you want. And then the first one, we're going to bring the wire around the end where the loop is. So just bring it around once. Grab it with your pliers if it's easier. Give it a little flush cut to clip that end. And then we're going to have to push in that little pokey end so it's not scratchy. And then we want to finish off the other wire, so bring it around and then just bring it through the loop to finish it off. Give it a good little wiggle so it's tight, and then we're going to clip that end with the flush cutters. It makes a cute little loop with the rows on it, and you can use your flat pliers to do any little adjustments that you need. Push in those little coils, line up the wires, just do any little adjustments that you see need to be done. So there's your finished rose toggle, and then to do the crossbar, we're going to take another piece of wire and do a little loop and then measure across the large loop beyond it, because you need the bar to be longer. And then we're going to form a loop on the other side. And then we're going to bring the wires towards the center and then bend one of them straight down. Bring the other wire towards the center. And then what we want to do is make a loop as we did with the first piece, and get our looping pliers to make a little loop. Bring it around, make sure it's centered. And then we need to hold that loop with the flat pliers and bring the wire around a couple of times. So just bring it around, make sure it's nice and snug. And then we want the wires going out towards the same direction we're actually going to bring one of the wires around to secure that one, so they're one surrounding another, and then we're going to form our rows. Same way we did with the first piece. You bring the wire around a little bit, rotate it around, the wire's nice and soft, and then bring the other piece around to the back. Curve it around a little bit. And then we'll take the other wire and bring it around to the back. So there's a few different ways you can make roses. This is a simple way to do it. Just alternating the wires, bringing one to the back, rotating it, and then take the other one to the back and rotate it. And go around as many times as you want. And then we're going to take the ends and wind it back towards the edge of the crossbar. This will reinforce the bar to make it more solid, and it gives it a cool coiled look. So wind it around a few times until you get to that loop, and then you can pinch the wires in with the flat pliers. Make sure they're even, and then clip the ends with the flush cutters. Get rid of those little pokey ends, and then we're going to take our flat pliers and even them out. Push in the little pokey ends and make sure that bar is straight. So wiggle it around as you need. Make sure it's nice and even. And there you have the set. And you can make a bracelet with tiger tail and beads. I'll link up a tutorial on how to do that in the description below. And if you want to make the roses with twisted wire, once you get to the stage where you form the rows, we're going to crisscross the wires and just twist them together, holding them out at an equal angle to get an even twist. We'll measure a couple of inches, and then at that point we're going to rotate the twisted wires around to form the rows. So we're just winding it around towards the outside of the rows, starting at the middle. Using your thumb and finger, just rotate it around. This makes a fun kind of textured rose. Bring it all the way around, and then we're going to have to secure the ends. So take the ends and wind them around the crossbar. You're always better to cut your wire a little too long than too short, because the twisted wire takes up quite a bit of wire. So wind it around on the other side of the rose. And like I said, this will reinforce the bar to make it stronger, and it gives it a nice look. So we'll clip those ends with the flush cutters, and then we're going to push them in with the tweezer nose pliers. I love these Xuron tweezer nose pliers. I'll link up all my tools in the description below the video. So now for the larger loop piece, we will start as we did with the first design, and we're going to wind the wire around the end of a marker or a round form a couple of times, still using the 20 gauge wire. So secure that wire around, remove it from the round form, and form a little loop with our Beadalon bail making looping pliers. And then we're going to hold the loop with the tweezer nose pliers and bring the wire around to secure it in place. And now we're going to hold it firmly and form our twisted wire. Holding the wires out at an equal angle and measure a couple inches as we did with the other piece. Start the turn with the round nose pliers just to make it easier to start the rows, and then we'll hold it with our thumb and our fingers and wind the wire around out from the center towards the outside to form a stylized rose. So just bring it around, and then we need to secure those ends. So we're going to wind one through the large loop. Use your pliers to grab the end so you could pull it tighter. Just feed it through the loop a couple of times. You could go around 2 or 3 times depending on how much wire you have and what kind of look that you want. And then we're going to bring the other wire over to the other side of the rose. Feed it through the loop. Give it a good little tug and bring it through a couple of times. Give it a nice little tug there. Pinch it in so it's nice and secure. Just pinch and rotate. And then we're going to cut the ends flush. Make sure we pinch in that little pokey end. And now you can line up the wires, do any little adjustments that you need so the loops are snug together. Pinch in the little pokey ends, adjust it so it's even. This is the time to make all your little finishing touches. And there's our 2 pieces and how they look on a beaded bracelet.
So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.